Supreme Rice. Since the 1930s, supporting Louisiana farmers and communities throughout Louisiana. To find out more, go to supremerice.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. It's the final days of our Black Friday sale. Recharge this season with a bundle of cozy, soothing comfort. Now only $17.99 for our C2 mattress and base, plus free premium delivery. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Doe's Eat Place on Government Street in Mid-City. Welcome to the Tuesday edition Live at Lunch. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Handegriff, Jimmy Ott, Max Gotro, Jordan Kitchen's back in the studio, and a bunch of rain has just hit the capital city. Andy Iskoe with us today. Greg Bowser with us today. We do first class, second class, no class today. Jimmy, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Plenty of college basketball last night, all day
good
today.
Games. Yeah,
great
really
week,
good. Great week.
Really strong, pretty much top to bottom. From the top of the card to the bottom of the card in college basketball. We'll get to that. Monday Night Football last night. Interception fest between the Niners and the Panthers. But the right team won.
I think
the right team
I thought
covered.
of you when I'm watching Bryce Young on 1st and goal from the 2, where it looked like he could beat 91 to the edge and score, but he threw it into coverage for an interception. And I think it's the same guy just threw for 400 yards the week before.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't like to put too much emphasis on the win-loss record of a quarterback, but he's part of them, going into last night's game that has produced a winning record. His play has improved. Supporting cast has improved. But he's so little that I just don't know. And I think he can't play and all that. We can't play or can play a star and everything. He's week to week. He's play to play. But I just don't think. I'm trying to speak for you in saying that he'll never be to a point where he can consistently perform well enough to be part of a winning team or part of a team to kind of make a run. Is that fair? I think he can go out there and play on a given Sunday and win a game for you.
Right.
We've just proven that.
I don't even know if we're switching positions. My deal with him is I've always been concerned about the physical limitations at the NFL level.
They're real.
Yeah.
They're real.
He was a special player in college.
He
wasn't just a great player. He was a special player.
He didn't have two supporting cast at Alabama.
No,
remember that?
He did. I remember the game against Texas where he essentially won the game for Alabama. And most of the time, Alabama didn't have to have any one guy carry him.
One thing he can do, though, boy, he's got that spin around, escape from his blind side pressure, huh?
Yes. And that game against Texas, you remember the one I'm talking about, where he basically – took him on his back that day and beat him.
At Texas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He was a special player in college. He is not a special player in the NFL. He is a –
there's a lot of those.
Right. Well, but not all of them come with the number one pick in the draft and all of the hype that he comes with, okay?
Well, he can't – he's not worthy.
He's not that guy, okay?
No.
They're a special college player. Cam Newton was a special college player, and for a while he was a special player in the NFL.
But he's also a guy that can do things that nobody his size can do.
He's 6'5", and Johnny Manziel was a special player in college. He was not anything.
Well, we knew that improvisational stuff was probably not going to. That would be tough to translate to the next level. Right. We didn't know he'd be this big of a bust.
But his off-the-field stuff.
Oh, it carried onto the field.
Yeah. Jameis Winston was a special player in college.
Very.
He has not been a special player in the NFL, though he has had a lot of success and a lot of failures. There's been a lot of both with Jameis. The 30 interceptions, numbers-wise, okay? There's been some numbers that he's put up at times.
Yeah, he's
maybe a great deal of success is an overstatement. He's had some success. I wouldn't call him a complete bust.
His within-season ceiling is as high, and his floor is as low as it gets. Nobody's thrown as many interceptions as he has.
Yeah.
But Dan, he's taking his ragtag team and moving the ball the
there,
last 2 weeks.
There are some things. Jameis' skill set is still serviceable at the NFL level. It'll never be consistent enough for him to be the star he was supposed to be, but he's not a bust.
He's better than 8 of the starting quarterbacks right now.
Yeah. Joe Burrow was a special player in college. When he has been healthy, he's been a special player in the NFL.
And he's had and he had an unbelievable supporting cast too.
Yes, he did.
But he's yes.
When he's been on the field, he's been fine. He's been off the field plenty. Trevor Lawrence was a special college player. I thought early on in his Jacksonville career, especially after the playoff, I thought he was as a freshman, especially. I thought his
supporting cast was phenomenal.
It was, but I thought he did his part. I thought he was an upper echelon college player. Yes.
I thought we were always really, really enamored with his physical because his physical is special.
And they won all the time, and you're right, the supporting cast was phenomenal at the time at Clemson. I thought he was a special college player. I thought he would be a top 8 NFL quarterback. And after they beat the Chargers,
he's very
in the playoff
average.
game,
It's
it's gone downhill since then. Now I'm not sure.
This year, just in spite of him a little bit, sort of schedule related.
Yeah. But every one of those guys, except for maybe Manziel, had the big physical attributes that you want in an NFL quarterback, and Young doesn't have that. I think he can be a serviceable NFL quarterback. I think he can even be a starter.
But he didn't have that crazy supporting cast at A&M. He lifted his team.
Manziel?
Oh, yeah.
Well, he had Mike Evans. I don't want to say he didn't have anybody, but he didn't have Alabama's supporting cast, but he wasn't out there by himself either. Not as good as Alabama, better than Auburn. How's that? Way better than – Newton didn't have another NFL guy on that offense. Not a one. I mean, Dyer was a nice back, but he was not an upper level guy as far as the NFL was concerned.
You take him off of that team, and it's a completely different skill set and quarterback and everything, because they ran Cam Newton between the tackles in the NFL like I've never seen a quarterback run. Over time, it was going to take it. Those body blows. I mean, it was unreal over and over and over. But he had the physicality to at least stay upright for a run, for a stretch. Manziel, no way. Both of them were. It's equally. I know you love Evans. I
don't love
he's
Evans.
A compiler. I know he's been pretty damn good. He's on his way to Hall. He's a compiler. But, I mean, how many All-Pros has he had?
I don't know how many All-Pros he's had.
He's
never been one of the top 2 receivers in football, but for the first 10 years of his career, he's never been out of the top 10 either.
Okay. He's been very consistent for a long period of time. A little bit of a compiler. He's in a Hall of Very Good, and there's a lot of Hall of Very Goods that are in the Hall of Fame. Okay, and he's going to get there. But I mean, I'll give you him. But man, Manziel didn't have a whole lot, bro. I mean,
there weren't 10 NFL guys.
At least Auburn had a defense that they could turn the ball back over to him.
And that defense
they didn't have it fairly was, but they were good.
Well, they were all really good college players. Now, what about the guy on the other side, Brock Purdy? 2 games back from the injury. The first one, he looks like $1 million. Last night,
physical limitations.
Yeah,
he reminded me of that game where he went into with a sizable lead on Christmas for the MVP, and he threw 5 interceptions against Baltimore, and they got housed, and it flipped. I had a nice bet on him as MVP. And I hedged in game. You had to be on the trigger that night because Jackson won it that night. I mean, his team related. And so it reminded me of that night. Yeah, because that's what I'm thinking was going through my head last night. Carolina's got a winning record. I know it's schedule related, but it really strengthened my argument how bad some of these teams are in the NFL, and be careful of diving in head first. And we kind of knew with Pittsburgh early. Said, man, this is going blind. Right now it's the Bears. I mean, can they continue this? They're leading a damn really good division when they have a point differential, a negative point differential.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that, like, Purdy can't play any worse in the first half. And Carolina can't even be competitive. So how how bad are the teams that they beat? And again, it's week to week. Some of these teams, this team on this night could be like Paul Stone this morning talked about Florida against Texas. Florida against Texas, that had to be one of the tougher Florida teams of the season, huh? Is that fair to say?
The tougher Florida teams.
The Florida Gators, of their 11 games, is that the toughest they've been?
That's the best game they played, yes.
Yes,
Absolutely.
okay. Well, I mean, it's a little different than maybe the team that Tennessee played Saturday.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
I mean, Texas is everybody as good as Tennessee, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
Especially
totally different teams.
Especially now with Texas is a lot better offensively now than they were in September. Their offensive line has improved,
But
and Manning
also
has improved.
Florida's back. They had their healthy guy, the Dallas. I forget his last Dallas so and so. He was healthy, and he had a couple of touchdowns in that Texas game. So, I mean, that's the fun part of it. That's the aggravating part for what we try and do. We're trying to handicap. We're trying to declare. And sometimes we're sitting at the book and we say the dreaded, he can't play. Well, no, he can't play a third of the times. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
you look at Purdy, who's got this monster contract now.
Well,
He's started 4 games this year and thrown multiple interceptions in 3 of them.
And
the one in the front of the end zone was particularly bad because he had room to run. He had the first down, and he forces this ball, and he short-armed it.
both of them threw first down interceptions.
Yeah, and I mean, both of them were really out the game. I thought that of the 3 interceptions that Purdy threw, the one in the front part of the end zone was the worst one, but they were all bad. San Francisco wins the game anyway and covers anyway. God bless them. So
there you go, Otter Locks.
That's all you got to know.
And football Sunday. So there we go.
Yeah, we'll get our Lane Kiffin fix here in just a second.
We got an update?
Not really, but I just wanted to run a few things by you. Just,
You can run anything by me.
I know, man. That's the great part about doing this show with you every day. I ain't going to blindside you with a topic unless I get to politics, and I stay away from that.
Doe's Eat Place on Government Street. And you know what? Keep Doe's in mind for this holiday season because, we can – tables of any size. If you got, an 8-top, 12-top, 14-top, you want to do a special party with, 20, 25, 30, 40, 50, whatever it is, rent out the whole Crown Town room. We got, during the bowl season, if you have games on that you want to watch, you want to turn the TVs on, whatever you want to do over here. So we're equipped to handle any size party during the holiday season. Call Scott over here at Doe's Eat Place and reserve your spot today. It's 387 5331 387 5331. Great thing about coming over here for lunch, though, is we have a completely different lunch menu that's served Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Sandwiches served with our house-cut French fries, which I'll put up against anybody's. You can get a club sandwich, steak burger. You can get add different cheese, onions, aiolis, chicken sandwiches the whole way. Hot chicken sandwich. You can fry, dip Nashville style if you want. Po' boys. You got a seafood po' boy, your choice of catfish, oysters, or shrimp. Or you could do a broiled shrimp po' boy on New Orleans French bread, debris po' boy, meatball po' boy. That meatball po' boy is one of the hidden secrets in town. Black and blue po' boy, that's with the blue cheese melted over the sliced steak with the garlic horseradish aioli. It's different salads, including the chef salad, grilled steak salad. Our plate lunches, spaghetti and meatballs, hamburger steak, fried catfish platter, and a country fried steak. Generous portions, that's an understatement over here. That's our lunch menu that's available. Only those menu items available Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. over here at Doe's Eat Place on Government Street.
Live at Doe's, live at lunch. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Doe's Eat Place on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Remember, the show's available on demand, 1045ESPN.com, LouisianaSports.net. Brought to you by Supreme Rice and SupremeRice.com, supporting our Louisiana farmers since the 1930s. Pick up Supreme Rice for the holidays wherever you buy rice. So yesterday, Lane Kiffin had his press conference. He dodged artfully, I thought, 3 questions about his future after saying that he wasn't going to answer any questions about anything other than the game and the team. He steered around very politely. 3 questions that might have alluded to somewhere in his future. Jimmy, what's the updated odds today? The
63.
The 63% to LSU, or not 63%. I need to
just say 63 cents is the best way, or 63 cents on a dollar is the way to do it. That's with the yes. Let's see who the others.
Florida
Drinkowitz 19%.
Okay, to LSU, and
Florida is 36%.
For Lane Kiffin to go there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fish is creeping up a little bit at 23%.
Okay.
I think Fish would take it for sure. Some people have told me that he would if he's offered.
It fits. It fits.
Yeah, it fits a lot.
It's a better job. It's more. Yeah. It's likely to be more money, and
it's all of them are more money, Charlie.
All Washington matches. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be more money one way or the other.
Yeah.
And, of course, he's got, he went to school there. Okay. People get nervous when things get quiet. They get nervous when things are.
Well, this was going to be a
nerve-wracking week.
Yeah.
So the rumors start popping out there. Well, what if he really wants to go to the NFL? Okay. I expect any number of ridiculous rumors. And, look, I can't tell you that none of them have no truth to them. They're going to. Maybe they just conjured up.
There's nothing that's changed in my mind from Friday evening.
I don't think so either. Okay. But one other scenario, Peter Burns brought this up this morning, and I think it's interesting.
Every if you tell up the confidence level of Ole Miss, LSU, and Florida, that collectively surpasses 100%. It's not that smooth. We did it exactly 100%.
Right.
A few weeks ago?
Yeah.
No, the calcium meter there does not add up. No.
So Kiffin was pretty coy about it yesterday. They're going to play the game. He's going to coach the game. All right. Peter Burns brought this up. What if, odds are against it, but if Texas beats Texas A&M and Auburn beats Alabama.
It's not that big of a deal.
It's
not that
and Ole Miss,
outlandish.
All three of them.
West Virginia losing a Pitt.
No, it's not. Using the current odds, I think the odds of this happening are 15%. So it's not the longest shot ever. But
I think Auburn's beating Alabama.
Okay, that's the one underdog.
But I think A&M's going to win. But I mean, that's
the biggest underdog. Excuse me. Yeah. All right, that would put Ole Miss in the SEC championship game.
Right.
Then what?
He doesn't. I told you how many was it, 2. I told you 8 days ago that LSU would have a coach in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So that's this coming Monday. We're 6 days away, and that's when they're going to have a coach, either that day or the day before. And the timeline to still coach in the SEC championship game, that schedule does not allow. Lincoln Riley and Brian Kelly both were hired on like the Sunday, Monday of championship week after. And Kiffin's going to and Ole Miss's athletic director issued a statement telling you the timeline. It's going to be next on Saturday.
Yes,
that doesn't
change anything.
We all think he's coming to LSU. Now, most of our information is coming from LSU, and whoever you ask has more fun. But we think it's done. Okay, I think it's happening. Again, you're dealing with Lane Kiffin. You ain't 100%, bro.
Right.
Okay, so he reserves the right to change his mind. He is messy. He's muddied the waters a little bit, but they'll be glad to have him back. Florida will be glad to have him as well. And so LSU sits and waits. And he's basically given them the indication. He's agreed in principle. We've seen agreements in principle not come to fruition.
Sure.
But I think on Saturday, boom, yes, he's excited. And then maybe do a press conference on Sunday and Monday.
And they don't even have to do that if they don't want to. I was talking with somebody today.
It's not a rush for that. It's a rush to get to work on the damn
roster. Yeah,
work on the signing day.
The news could leak out. But LSU could even put out a statement. Yes, he's going to be our next head coach. The introductory press conference might not even be till Thursday.
That's okay.
Which is fine. That's
okay.
Not,
After
that's not
Sunday,
crucial.
that's fine.
Taking 2 hours out of your schedule to go do that when you got 96 hours between when you take the job and National Signing Day.
But there's more work to do in Gainesville try and salvage the recruiting class than there is with Frank Wilson, who's all but a lock to be on his staff at LSU.
Well, that's true, but you've also got the current roster. I mean, after they take exams, a lot of these kids are going to be out the door. So the ones you want to talk to. You want to talk to everybody, I guess.
No. There's a
roster
reason,
retention.
There's a reason this sort of self-imposed deadline by LSU was put in this place.
Yeah, these 96
96
hours are crucial.
And when I said that the latest, we're going to have an LSU coach. He's going to now if he changes his mind on Saturday. Well, I'm sure you got your back burner. We don't expect it to happen, but it's not impossible. I don't know if it's a 2% chance, a 12% chance, whatever you want to do. But
well, didn't you the little thing just say 16% for Eli Drinkwitz or something like that? The
63%
for Kiffin.
Not 19.
19. Okay. 19. So that's the backup plan is Eli Drinkwitz, I guess. I don't know. That's kind of what I've been operating under for. If Kiffin turned it down, Drinkwitz would be
that's fair.
Would be in queue. Could be somebody else.
Drinkwitz over Summerall?
Me, not necessarily. No, I think the administration probably does because of his SEC experience. Do I personally? Not necessarily. I feel kind of the same way about Drinkwitz as you do. Solid coach, done a lot of good things up there.
Beat who he's supposed to, loses who he's supposed to.
Very, very solid. Would win here. Would he win a championship here? I don't know, but I can't guarantee a championship with anybody. So he would be solid. Summerall is a little bit more of an unknown because he hasn't coached in a power conference yet, but he's going to really shortly. I think he's got a lot of upside, but I don't know
who would excite the boosters more
after
they're spending. What do you think?
After Kiffin,
of course.
I think of
Drinkwitz or Summerall.
Summerall.
I think so, too.
Yeah. I think Kenny Dillingham would excite more than either one of them, but that may be off the board. But, yes. A coach like that, I think they would probably a little bit more around Summerall. Drinkwitz's resume is better than Summerall's right now because he has done it in the Southeastern Conference. He's won. Listen, on schedule, whatever, he has played in the Southeastern Conference. And
very average. 25 and 24 is about as average as you could be.
Yeah, they win. We've
they
said
win
it.
Who
they
supposed
win the
to.
games.
They lose who they're supposed to.
And,
he has 0 wins over teams that finished with a winning conference record.
You watch these teams play. What do you think of when you watch?
I think they're pretty well coached.
Yes,
I do.
I do too.
I think they're pretty well coached.
They're very solid. Okay, and
I think that's to me that's the biggest thing I give to him. Now I think your team is going to be well coached.
How many difference makers have you seen on his teams? Like these
Luther Burden
and probably Ahmad Hardy this year for sure, but not
they've had some defensive players that were pretty good.
They've had some good players, okay, but have they been loaded with all conference players?
They're middle of the road. You can do worse than middle of the road in the SEC.
Ask Florida and Auburn.
No kidding. No kidding.
That's two big-time programs.
You have more resources to get better players. And they've had more players drafted at those schools, certainly at Florida. And but I don't think the results of this weekend is going to impact anything. I think they,
I think that's a chalk.
Ole Miss is really, really their level of confidence in him returning. I mean, they've almost flipped like, hey, good riddance. Don't let the door hit you in the butt, okay?
You can imagine how frustrated they are right now. This is the championship season that they've been waiting for forever.
The school where the coach leaves is always last to know, all right, for obvious reasons. But they are some people that have been on our show have flipped. Not publicly, but privately, said he's coaching his last game Friday at Ole Miss.
Yeah, I think that too. And I can understand Ole Miss's level of frustration.
Maybe it'll be a big love fest for the Ole Miss and Mississippi State fans at the game, or a hate fest. They could hate on Lane together.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend, or something like that.
I don't know. You're confusing me with all that garbage. But I mean,
well, I mean, Ole Miss and Mississippi State fans on the day of the Egg Bowl, they don't agree that the day is Friday. Okay, they're going to be pretty stingy. So yeah,
if they're ever going to get together, this will be Friday. Will be it.
Somebody's selling buttons.
Huh?
I don't know if there's somebody selling buttons.
No, yeah, the FULKs are out there, and they may, if you tell them to come back, they'll dance and they'll burn them and they'll do a dance, but it's going to be theater.
Yeah.
Start.
So we think everything is still what it was before.
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
There's your update.
Don't forget our friends at K&M Automotive on Segan Lane, 8445 Segan Lane, just off of Perkins. The only place I take my vehicle. And my son needed an oil change since he's home for school for the holiday week. So he went over there yesterday. They were busy as usual on a Monday. Gave him a time to come back. Boom, they're ready for him. In and out in 30 minutes. That's what happens, man. You might they might be busy, but Jason's going to give you a time where you come back where it's more convenient for everyone involved. Just not going to let you sit there and rot for hours and hours and hours. That check engine light comes on. You don't know what's going on. Call our friends. Come by and see Jason Payne at K&M Automotive. Closed on Thanksgiving Day, but open every other weekday, 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. The only place to take my vehicle, K&M Automotive, 8445 Segan Lane, just off of Perkins, across Segan from Ambrosia Bakery.
Live at Doe's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Doe's Eat Place on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Heading out to Las Vegas, deep in the desert, lives one man of many sports bets, the one and only Andy Isco.
Andy, how you doing, buddy?
Well, Jimmy, it was kind of a rough weekend this past weekend, so hopefully that's not. Hopefully it'll be made up for with turkeys on the plate more than on the field.
Or at least you told us to buy it to 3 with Kansas City on Sunday as football Sunday.
Yeah, that was important. And the one that I should have used, because I was debating it, but I wanted to check a little bit more for the inactives, was the Cleveland game at Vegas. I could see no reason for Vegas being favored in the game. I just wanted to make sure that the players that I thought were going to be active were active, and that was critical to the selection.
That's a lovely situation in Las Vegas right now. So anyway, they who did they just fire? Oh, Chip Kelly.
They fired Chip Kelly because
I believe they had gotten rid of their defensive coordinator and special teams coordinator a few weeks earlier. So it's a mess.
What is Jim Gray's role with the team?
This team the Raiders have perhaps the weakest offensive line I've seen in the last 25 years.
They're not good.
Balanced. Horrible against the run and the pass.
Yeah. I mean, poor Genty's running into a brick wall. I mean, he's just not.
Yeah.
He didn't turn into a poor back all of a sudden.
Geno was sacked 10 times.
Geno was sacked 10 times?
10 times Sunday.
How many did Myles Garrett have?
3.
Yeah. And he had a bunch of 4 the week before?
He's pacing to shatter the record of
I
TJ Watt.
I actually went back to check what the record for sacks on a quarterback, and it was 12. I think Warren Moon was one of them, and I forget who the other one was, a little bit more recent, but that was pretty close to the record it had. I'm surprised that it was more than 10, but that's been the story all year. And, you can blame some of it on Geno for holding the ball and not making decisions, but not all 10 sacks.
Geno has not had a good year, but it's we always look at the supporting cast, and he's got about as bad as the one out there, huh, Charlie?
The offensive line makes it impossible to do anything. They got rid of Jacoby Myers, who's a reasonable receiver. They've got maybe one of the best tight ends in football. I think Ashton Genty is a really good back. Without an offensive line, none of it works.
Andy,
a lot of the criticism out here has been, and it was around for a while, but it really intensified after this past game, is that the Raiders should not have used the first-round pick on a tight end and a running back as they did the past couple of years without having an offensive line in place before you go for a franchise quarterback, which is now another issue they're going to be facing.
I agree with half of that. I think Bowers plays no matter what.
Charlie.
I think Genty's prime may be way before the Raiders get good. Bowers, I think, holds up in the league for a long time.
I'm with Charlie 100%. Running back is the most natural position, whether you're going from high school to college or college to pro. Now, you got to learn how to block, but still, you see guys, really at the top of the league, at that. My point is, running back's the last piece to the puzzle.
Yeah.
I don't think that was the last piece of the puzzle for the Raiders. If it is, it's pretty dumb. But they've done things, whether it's his dad or him. Davis's have done some of those things.
On both offense and defense, you build from the inside out.
Okay, Andy, of the upstarts in the AFC, which control and lead. Well, there's a tie in the North, and the other three divisions are led by New England, Denver, and Indianapolis. Of those three, who do you feel has the best chance to make a run in the playoffs?
I like all three for different reasons. I like Denver simply because of their defense that keeps them in games. Bo Nix can be good, he can be bad, but the defense shows up every week to play pretty much well. Even that game against the Giants, they played well after they fell behind and started that rally. But for the most part, Denver has a chance. They'll still be tested. They still have 2 games left against Kansas City and the Chargers. I think it's weeks 17 and 18, if I recall correctly. So they'll be tested. Indianapolis seems to be the best balance of the 3 teams. They're really, really good on offense, and their defense is decent enough and doesn't receive the kind of attention because the offense is always getting out to generally early leads. It didn't hold up the other day against Kansas City, although keep in mind, Kansas City did not score a touchdown until the fourth quarter of the game. They had to settle for all those field goals. And New England I like because of Rabel, the fact that he's also building a team with he's probably got he does have the best quarterback of the 3 in Drake May compared to Daniel Jones and Bo Nix. So I like all 3 of them. If I had to pick one team, the reason I like New England, but I like this Denver team because I think they will have faced the toughest competition, including the defending AFC champions twice.
All right, and who of the 3 mainstays and the 3 highly rated quarterbacks do you think is going to get it together and make a run between Baltimore, Kansas City, and Buffalo?
I'd have to say Buffalo. I'm concerned about both Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson does not seem to be back to full health. He seems very tentative out there. They haven't run him a lot. And Mahomes, I just think we're seeing with the entire Kansas City team, all those extra games they've been playing over the past 10 years by virtue of winning the AFC West Championship. That takes a lot of toll on you over all these years. It's incremental. It's slow, but by the time you get late in the season, the teams that have played, 100 games in the last 6 years versus teams that have played 120 games in the last 6 years, it starts to show up. And, look, I expected Kansas City not to have the kind of struggle that it had the other day because they were finally playing a team that they did not figure to beat by double digits as they had the weakest opponents, and yet they struggled just to win. It would have been different if they won that game 23-20 and were playing with the lead the entire way. So I'm just not comfortable.
All right, got my odds maker. Here's our prop bet, the Live at Lunch prop bet here. So you got to bet. You take the Blue Bloods, the Kansas City, Baltimore, Buffalo to win the AFC, or you take the new money, New England, Denver, and Indianapolis. You got a choice of which group.
I'm taking the Blue Bloods.
As would I. I'd also take the Blue Bloods.
Max, you going to play contrarian? Is it a bad line I put up there? It just shot up to minus 155, huh?
No.
No.
I got enough confidence in Buffalo to get it done.
You got higher seed, and look, the seeds are probably going to hold.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be tough to pass them up. I mean, so the seeds are probably going to hold, and so you're probably going to have some home field advantage, but still,
I'm okay with some of these teams going on the road. I'll tell you, the Blue Blood.
Remember, of the 3 teams, Denver's the only one that has the real recent playoff experience, and that was just last year, and they lost their first game.
Yeah.
The Blue Bloods.
It's a different game in the playoffs. It's a different game. There's no doubt.
New England don't have the experience, and I think that's where Buffalo Baltimore and Kansas City will have an edge in this.
Kansas City's
winner
still
go
out
home.
of the playoffs right now. So
The blue blood that concerns me the most is Baltimore, and I know they've got the easiest path in the division, but Lamar Jackson looks hurt to me. He has not even completed 60% of his passes the last 3 games, and I watched him play. Big fan, okay? We've gone back and forth on Lamar for years. Right now, he is missing throws that he has made consistently for the last several years. I don't know if that's injury. I don't know if it's something else, but his accuracy has wildly declined in the last 3 weeks.
It's a different game in the playoffs, and he has struggled in the postseason.
And I
There's
think
no doubt.
Buffalo will be fully healthy by the time we get to the playoffs with some of those defensive injuries.
Including the defense? Okay. All right. Consider it's football Tuesday, Andy. We got 4 games. We got 3 on Turkey Day in the NFL and 1 on Friday. Who you like?
I have to like Detroit over Green Bay. Of course, they went up to Green Bay on the opening day of the season. They knew that, and they've known all season this was going to be a critical game for the division. I don't think they expected to be in the position that they're in right now with both Green Bay and Detroit looking up to Chicago. But I think this is the game that Detroit has pointed to. I would not be shocked, given the way that we're seeing, and we're seeing that defensive improvement in Dallas, if Dallas ends up giving Kansas City that critical 6th loss.
Is Quentin Williams playing?
I don't know.
I haven't seen yet.
He's kind of a big deal right now. He has helped.
Yeah.
Remember how bad the defense was, Charlie?
Yes.
I mean, so kind of a big deal. I'm going to be on Dallas Thursday. It's just a matter of how hard if he's playing.
Yeah. He is right now not on the injury report.
Okay. Did he return to the game on Sunday?
I don't think he did.
I don't think he did.
No.
I don't believe he did.
All right, Andy, nothing on Joe Burrow and the Bears and the Eagles.
Well, the thing to keep in mind, by the way, that both Higgins and Hendrickson are ruled out for that game for Cincinnati, even though Burrow is coming back.
Yes. Chase out too? Or just one?
No,
game?
he was just one game suspension.
Okay, because I heard somebody mention him as well, and I didn't think that was.
And I have to like Philadelphia over Chicago. You know, Chicago once again. I mean, they this time they had the lead late and they held on to it against Pittsburgh. Philadelphia has to really be looking themselves. You know, they wasted an opportunity to stay in the race for the number 1 seed by losing the other day. The way that they lost, with the Rams now having the edge, even though Philadelphia won that game, because the Rams are now a game ahead. So I have to think we get a good effort, or we get a very good effort out of Philadelphia. I think the way they lost last week after giving up those 24 points after not scoring after early second quarter with the 21 that they had, right. I think this team will be very well focused for Chicago and going up against a Chicago defense that still is a weakness.
All right, more serious business. Oven roasted, rotisserie, or fried? Turkey.
Oven roasted.
All right, traditionalist. Green bean casserole, sweet potato casserole, cornbread dressing, oyster dressing, or shrimp and militone casserole.
What was the second one you mentioned? The sweet potato?
Sweet potato casserole, yes. With the crusted pecans on top, huh?
Yes. That's my choice.
There you go. I want to hear humans in his because he hates all vegetables. So he'll tell us I
hope you like cranberry.
I mean, he's the only guy that goes to Taco Bell on Thanksgiving.
Isn't he in the Bahamas anyway, watching basketball?
I didn't want to bother him. I'm just waiting to hear him when he gets back. So I'm not with stoking the bear there. Andy, Thanksgiving to you, brother. We give thanks to you, man. You're such an important piece of what we do here Tuesdays and certainly on football Sundays. So. Man, let's get them. Let's get them this Turkey Day, and we will talk to you this Sunday live from the Queen.
And happy Thanksgiving to all of you, your listeners, and your staff, etc. We've got so much to be grateful and thankful for, and let's hope it all continues.
Thank you, Andy. We appreciate it. Follow Andy on Twitter at VegasAndy711. Also, TheLogicalApproach.com is a free publication that he gives out different angles and analysis information that might help shape your handicapping as well. Relief Windows, and not just for windows, for doors, for exterior doors, French doors, sliding glass doors, all kinds of doors at Relief Windows. Siding, vinyl siding, hardy plank siding. We've got it all for you at Relief Windows. And shutters, interior or exterior shutters. You can view all of our materials at reliefwindows.com. Relief Windows at reliefwindows.com wants to wish you and yours a happy Thanksgiving. Gobble, gobble from Relief Windows. 288-8138 and reliefwindows.com.
Live at Doe's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Doe's Eat Place on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
So out of New Orleans, as we expected would happen at some point, Blake Grupe has been released by the Saints, and they have signed a familiar name to the practice squad. Figures to be upgraded by the weekend, I guess, is former LSU Tiger Cade York. York has spent time with Cleveland, Washington, and Cincinnati. His career field goal percentage, 73%. That would be near the bottom of the NFL, but it is higher than Grupe's 69% for this season. And we know he has a extremely strong leg. We saw that at LSU. Jimmy, might this be another one of those kickers that has a lot of potential, had a terrific college career, gets to the NFL and struggles early, but then finds his footing? I'm thinking Daniel Carlson with the Raiders, who washed out with Minnesota, and then
I think that Carlson was a little bit better, but in college, but he was really good.
But washed out in Minnesota and caught on with the Raiders, and he's not having a great year.
Raiders. Yeah,
he's not having a great year, but he's had 3 or 4 really good years before this.
Pro Bowl years.
Could York be that guy? Evan McPherson's another one with Cincinnati. Was a really good kicker at Florida.
He was a weapon at that Super Bowl run for Cincinnati. They played for field goals.
He was like 11 for 11 or 11 for 12. Now he's been a
game
little
winner
bit
against Tennessee.
Yeah, that year
City.
he was fantastic. Been a little bit shakier since, but in that run he was great.
Yeah.
This is worth a shot to me. I like the idea of bringing Cade York in.
Got to do something, man.
A hell of a lot better than bringing in Justin Tucker. Excuse me.
The kicking in the league is just too good. It's too good, especially now that they can use their hand-selected balls. And so you've seen it. I mean, how many 60-plus field goals this year?
More than I've ever seen.
This is the era where everybody's going for it on fourth down more than ever.
Right.
So why would you kick a long field goal when you got fourth and anything less than, 7? So it's just the kicking's never been better, and you just can't afford to slip at all because they got some really good kickers that aren't even on rosters right now.
It is worth the risk. It's a lot with Justin Tucker. First of all, you got the off-the-field stuff, which, that's already made national news.
It's going to cost him a Hall of Fame?
It might. Yeah. It's a distraction that the Saints don't need for a kicker who is well past his prime. And
I can argue that.
What's that?
Well, they can use a lot of distractions from what the real problem is.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
they're garbage.
I get that.
They can use a lot of distractions.
Yeah. I would take Cade York in. Because if he clicks, well, you got a very young, strong-legged kicker that you can move forward with. And if he misses some kicks, well, you cut him and you move on. It's not like winning these games is crucial right now. So I'm fine with the move. We'll see if it works out. Kid was really good.
What's their record?
2-9.
You know what their record is in the first quarter? You see what they've been outscored in the first quarter? They're 1-2. There's first quarter lines. They're 1-10. They fall behind every week.
You can go back and look at the numbers.
It's like 120 to 15 or something to get outscored in the first quarter.
They've led for about 4% of the season, period, in any quarter. About 4%. We'll take a break. Come back. First class, second class, no class. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch, first class.
I want a seat in first class where I was booked and ticketed over a month ago.
Second class.
No man should be subjected to the indignity of being labeled or treated like a second-class citizen.
And no class.
Life had become like school on Sunday. No class.
I'll tell you what then. Why don't you call me sometime when you have no class?
First class, second class, and no class. Brought to you by Supreme Rice. Buy local with Louisiana-based Supreme Rice since 1936.
And return here at Doe's Eat Place, Government Street, Mid-City, in the Crown Town room here for lunch. Come by and see us here, and don't forget these fantastic steaks at night at Doe's Eat Place. Going to be one of the most generous portions you've ever had in a restaurant. That one We can guarantee.
I got first class, second class today too, buddy.
You do?
Yeah, not just you. It's
Okay.
Thanksgiving week, man. Come
All
on,
right.
in the spirit of the holiday season, huh?
Okay, very good. Very, very good. You want to go first?
Sure.
Your Honor, Your Honor. Go right ahead.
Don't forget over here, Doe's Eat Place. You can call up Scotty Boy and see what they're doing over here, man. You got people in town, man. Come over here and sit in the Crown Town room, watch a little football, get a great list of specialty cocktails that we have, nice wines, and great food, man. It's steak in a casual atmosphere, hand-cut steaks that are outstanding, and also totally different lunch menu for the weekdays as well, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Charlie, I'm going to list these, but I'm going to tell you what they are for. But 22 games this weekend impact a conference championship or the college football playoff. 22. Now, like Duke Wake Forest still has a chance to get in. They could steal a bid from somebody, and win the ACC championship.
Right.
But 22. Oregon, Washington, Navy, Memphis, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Utah, Kansas, Georgia, Georgia Tech, Indiana, Purdue, A&M, and although Indiana's probably in, but they can lose too and maybe fall out. Texas, Texas A&M, Ohio State, Michigan, Texas Tech, West Virginia, Miami, Pitt, BYU, and who are they playing, Max? I forget who BYU is playing against. Central Florida, Oklahoma, LSU, Vandy, Tennessee, Virginia, Virginia Tech, Iron Bowl, Notre Dame, Stanford, North Texas, Temple, Tulane, Charlotte, Arizona State, Arizona, South Florida, Rice, Duke, Wake Forest, SMU, Cal. 22 going. That's the good part. To me, that's first class. To me, to have how many games mattered in the 14 playoff?
About 6 or 7.
Max. Oh, that's a lot. The 07 is the one we remember the most,
Yeah.
and that's a lot. But a lot of them, we sat there, and it was like 2 or 3. It was all kind of determined. That's a good to me. That's a good thing. That's why I like the group of 6, the G6 representative. It's just one bid, and let Cinderella have at least 1 of 12. It's not March Madness. You just can't get hot from 3. You need a little size and speed. I get that, but let Cinderella in there one time, and then also the champions or the Power 4 champions. I think the ACC champion is getting in, unless it's Duke for some strange reason. But I think that's a good thing as well. So that's my first class. I'll get to my no class in a second. I'm skipping second class.
Okay. My first class is down in New Orleans. Something happened this week that I thought was really cool. The USTA, United States Tennis Association, has taken $3 million to refurbish courts at schools and playgrounds, parks, across other public facilities across the United States. And one of the facilities that they did was at Joe Brown Park, which is in New Orleans East. You familiar with the facility?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I know Joe Brown Park.
10 outdoor tennis courts refurbished, resurfaced, new nets, and other amenities at these courts by the USTA. And to announce it and to celebrate it, Coco Gauff, U.S.
Nice.
Open and French Open champion, went down, was at Joe Brown Park yesterday, hit with some of the and took pictures and all that stuff with some of the kids down there. She was at the Pelicans game last night. So really, the $3 million was what the USTA put up. It matched what Coco Gauff made in prize earnings last year. So that's where they got the number from. And she is not from New Orleans. She's born in Atlanta. She lives in Florida. However, her father was born in New Orleans, which I did not know, and her mother went to Xavier. So she's got at least a little bit of a tie to New Orleans. And she was down there yesterday. She's one of the biggest stars in the world in tennis right now, men or women. So
it's her second major in the French, man.
Yep, big deal for her to go down there yesterday. So very cool thing. First class to the USTA for spending this money on these public courts, and for Coco Gauff for making an appearance.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Like that. All right, my second class before we get to the no class is the UNO Privateers are an interesting basketball team. They opened their season by winning at TCU. That was a four-point victory. It was a true road game in Fort Worth. Then they came to Baton Rouge. LSU blew them out, beat them by 35. They turned around 3 days later, beat Tulane by 22. Then they went out to the West Coast. They lost a game to Pepperdine by 9, and a game to Pepperdine by 11, and Fresno State by 9. Then last night in Starkville, they took Mississippi State to overtime. Again, they blew a 14-point lead in the second half. They actually looked like they were going to win this game with about 5 or 6 minutes to go. State clawed back, got it to overtime, and won it by 3 in overtime. State is picked middle of the pack in the SEC, ninth in the preseason rankings. So I don't know what UNO is, good or bad, but they're interesting. If you've beaten TCU and you almost beat Mississippi State in true road games, you thumped Tulane. Tulane's 4-2. I don't know what that means here early.
Well, I mean, UNO should not be beating Tulane.
It's certainly not by 22 points. Then they lost the 2 games out on the West Coast. And in the next week, Jimmy, they are going to Texas Tech. They're going to play them in Lubbock. And they go to Memphis. They're going to play Memphis at the FedEx Forum. And before December makes it to Christmas, they're going to go to Houston and play the Cougars. So their schedule's interesting. I understand that they got to schedule a little bit differently, but I don't know. You don't expect them to have put up some of these performances so far. So we'll take a look. They're I don't want to say good with a chance to be great, but they're just interesting.
Make them say
early.
Master P doing his thing.
Look,
there you go,
doing something right. They're
general manager.
They're at least interesting.
They're catching my attention.
Yeah.
They're a covering machine right now.
We'll see what they're catching at Texas Tech on Wednesday night.
Texas Tech?
They're
not as good.
They go to Lubbock tomorrow night.
I'll take that one blind.
They go to Lubbock tomorrow night, and next Wednesday they go to Memphis.
Texas Tech, Cody Kimball got to get off some of that cheese, man. Again, they're not quite as good as they've been.
Well, we'll see.
They got one guy. He's carrying the load. Seems kind of be the case for some teams early. It's very early. But Alabama would file on with, I forget my man's name, the 6'9" guy, lefty for Texas Tech. Oh, it leads them in rebound and points by a lot. I'll get his name.
I watched Alabama. What did you say, Jordan?
Topic.
JP Toppin.
Yes.
Watched Alabama and Gonzaga last night. That was entertaining.
It was. Fallon's just doing it all by himself right now. Gonzaga's a much better team right now.
Best game I saw yesterday was Iowa State and the Johnnies.
Oh, Houston and Syracuse was
I didn't see that one.
Syracuse, man,
I know it went to overtime.
You're not backing down from, and for Houston, that's why they were a favorite in a lot of places. They got 2 of those guards back.
More games than we can watch right now, but we're going to try.
Yeah.
You want to do no class first? Or
Yes.
Go ahead.
This ties into what you're saying. This past Saturday night in Tiger Stadium, what did you say about these games in November?
I called it the last worthless evening, these non-conference games.
I don't know about that. Because
I'm just hoping in November they're the last worthless evening.
Well, okay. I don't know about that.
I don't either. Schedule comes out in a couple weeks.
I don't know about that. I think you're going to have two spots on the schedule, Charlie. So there are 15 teams that have a chance to be 10-2. 15 Power 4 teams that have a chance to be 10-2. You want to talk about a possible logjam. A potential logjam that's such much of a headache that the December 1st deadline to determine what they're going to do after the 26th season, the playoff format, that can has been kicked to late January. All right, we want to think about this one for a little bit. We want to see how this thing unfolds to try one more time before we say Oregon, Ole Miss, Texas Tech, Utah, Michigan, Georgia, Oklahoma, Texas Tech, Georgia Tech, Miami, BYU, Vandy, Virginia, Alabama, Notre Dame. Some notables in there.
That can's been kicked down the road so many times it no longer resembles a can. It's kind of flat. Okay?
It's a Mickey Loomis. Mickey Loomis hand, huh?
They have beat that can to death.
I don't think these Renowins before you be a rivalry game. That means a lot, especially now in the SEC, where it's most prominent, where they're going to add a game, and maybe will that game be scheduled in that spot? I got to think that these schools will pull for maybe not to be the case. Alabama and Auburn, I think they're going to have Eastern Illinois and Western Troy State. Okay,
and if the teams with rivalry games do that, okay, it's going to shove up a conference game earlier into September. I'm hopeful that LSU, who doesn't have a true rivalry game, I'm thinking Arkansas is going to get put in that last spot, but I don't know that for sure. Without a true rivalry game, I'm hoping that LSU has their non-conference games in September.
If you schedule somebody, and some of these teams are going to finish 10-2, and some of these teams are going to be left out.
Yeah.
It would be a hell of a parlay to hit for it just to work out. So, and the difference is, and what are we talking about? The thing we're talking about the most? 10-2. Why risk it? Why play Notre Dame if you're Miami? They're behind them. Beat them. Why? What do we gain? Why play Ohio State if you're Texas?
I'm going to refrain from blasting the committee until the final rankings
Charlie,
come out.
Committee going to be in a tough spot.
No, I know. And as long as which they haven't so far, which is respect the strength of schedule component, which was supposed to be upgraded this year. And again, I don't want to make too big of a deal out of it until it's final because these things can change. But at least when you look at Alabama against Notre Dame and you look at Miami against Notre Dame and you see where Notre Dame is and you go, are you guys really? Are you sure you're playing the schedule strength component in there? Because it sure doesn't look like it. And I think that's the biggest thing that's got this can kick down the road. The SEC is against this 5+11, specifically because of this. And if you really want to see all hell break loose, have a 10-2 SEC team not make the playoff. Any 10-2 SEC team not make the playoff. That makes things. That's going to make for a real contentious meeting when it comes to this playoff thing. So, I got it.
Alabama, if they win, they get in. Vandy might be out if they.
Yes.
Georgia. Georgia could lose. Yeah, Georgia could be left out. Oklahoma, they win, they're probably in. Ole Miss could be 10-2. They could be left out. They will be left out at 10-2.
They'll have a built-in excuse there if Kiffin's not the coach, but still, it would be a 10-2 team.
Would that be convenient?
Wouldn't it, though? Wouldn't it? It's a
their non-conference schedule was bad, but you kick the crap out of the team that's a favorite to get in from the group of 6.
And your only loss before the distraction was at Georgia. Something got to give.
And then you let Notre Dame just determine their thing. And that is, you see there, Stanford has how many wins? They've got wins over 3 teams with 0 conference wins.
Stanford, Syracuse.
No, Stanford, no.
Syracuse.
No, Stanford and Syracuse have conference wins.
Have conference. Okay, well, who are they then that don't have any conference wins at all?
Arkansas?
Purdue have a conference
2.
win? Arkansas doesn't have a conference win, and NC State's got one.
Boston
College.
Thank you.
Boston College, yeah.
And then they got Navy.
Plus Navy.
They've got 2, some.
It's a down Boise State team this year. I mean, not a great Boise State team.
It is. Their best win is Pitt.
I think their best win's USC, but what and what? Okay. I think USC's a little bit better than Pitt, but it's close.
Pitt on the road, USC, come see, come south.
Depends on where they play, yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Here's my no class this week, and I showed you this yesterday, and your response was the same as mine. It was, I've been going to
I do that?
You did that yesterday. I did that when I saw this. I've been going to the races since I was old enough to go to the races, the horse races.
Yes.
And something happened last week at Evangeline Downs that I've never seen before, and I pray I never see again. If you've never been to the horse races, there's called a trailer, okay? And behind the horses and the jockeys, well behind the horses and the jockeys, is an ambulance, okay? Because if there ever is a spill, you have little men who weigh about 90 pounds and 1,200-pound racehorses going really, really fast. So you need immediate medical attention.
Yeah, when me and Cooper in the Modesto tent around Del Mar by the red, they go to horses, and about 5 seconds, here comes the van, the medical van.
There's the ambulance, okay? They took off at EVD last week, and the horses come around the first turn. Ils ont parti, okay? And here comes the ambulance head on. An Acadian ambulance is coming head on at this
opposite direction
of all of the horses. It was the scariest damn thing you've ever seen in your life. if you've ever been to the races and you see this ambulance hitting head-on at this pack of horses.
He was going to overseas direction.
Yeah, clockwise. Amazingly, the jockey steered around this thing. Amazing. Now, the ambulance stayed on the rail, and it allowed the horses to get to the outside. But can you imagine? I've never ridden a horse in a race, never will, obviously, but I can only imagine the horror of these jockeys coming around the turn and seeing this ambulance come head on at them. And there hasn't really been a whole lot of great explanations publicly as to, A, how this ambulance got on the track in the first place in that situation, and what in the F was the driver thinking driving headlong into these horses? I mean, it was bizarre. Again, there's an ambulance there. It's supposed to be on the track behind the horses. How this thing got on the track to go at them, I hope they find out, because obviously you got to take great lengths to make sure this never happens again. No class to however this happened. And
had to be the guy's first time.
Yeah. And
he couldn't have driven. I mean, it had to be.
You cannot.
It had to be. Unless it's Sylvester Carmouche.
This is one of the. Well, they did that. They cheated on purpose. That was the infamous fog race. But they were trying to cheat. This could have been catastrophic. This could have resulted in multiple.
Keep in mind, it's a one-turn race, so it was maybe 5 to 6 furlongs. So because I watched what you did.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly, but they're sprinting.
Yeah.
So they're not raiding the horses and
No.
kind of taking their time. It's not a couple of turns.
No.
I know the track in Appaloosa is not as big as some others, but still, it was a one-turn race. So they're doing pretty much 35 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Give maybe a little bit more.
Thank God that there were not human and equine
Unbelievable
fatalities.
by the jockeys to recognize it and move over, because there was traffic to move over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one was bad. Got to make sure that never happens again. First class, second class, no class. Brought to you by Supreme Rice. We're coming up on the holidays. Thanksgiving just a couple of days away, and Christmas right after that. Make your holiday feast with including some Supreme Rice. Brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, parboiled rice. Wherever you buy rice, pick up Supreme Rice. Going to get more for your food dollars. Support our Louisiana farmers. The Climate Smart program, talking about reducing methane emissions and promoting water conservation so future generations of Louisiana farmers can benefit from this.
Yes, indeed. And, man, I've got doing my dirty rice, man, with the boudin dirty rice, and doing the rice for the gumbo as well, and do that parboiled rice. And so I'm boiling a bunch of it and put it in the Ziplocs and freeze it for later, so it makes it convenient and go right into the microwave and heat it up conveniently. But I love it, man. I've been searching for that restaurant quality rice, and when I finally settled in on that Supreme Rice parboiled rice, it is a long grain rice. It's firm, it's big, it really doesn't have a whole lot of residue when you kind of rinse it off as well, like some other rice. So I love it. You can find it wherever you find your Supreme Rice, in pretty much every area grocery store.
Live at Doe's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Doe's Eat Place on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
We're also brought to you by the Thibodeau Store, the Pierreport Store, and now open in LaRose and Lockport as well. Get on the website right now, thethibodeaustore.com. The Black Friday specials are up. Huge selection of power tools. If you're trying to buy something for dad or for your brother, for your husband, whatever, get down to the Thibodeau Store and at thethibodeaustore.com. Also, security cameras on special right now on the website. Security locks are available. Tons of things for your outdoor kitchens are available. Cypress furniture, custom-made Cypress furniture down at the Thibodeau Store. You're going to be able to find a great, unique gift at the Thibodeau Store. Again, go online, thethibodeaustore.com.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. Look, if you got a person on your Christmas list that enjoys outdoor cooking, Black Friday specials at the Thibodeau Store, the Airport Store, LaRose, or Lockport Store. Full sure. Hello, Ethan. Hello.
You think he's listening? Is he in exams yet? Taking exams yet? Almost?
Hell to the no.
No?
No.
All right. Let's make sure he gets the grades first, and we'll worry about a gift for you.
There we go.
All right. Tonight, another just not even
games.
tonight. We got We've got games that, already playing right now in college basketball, but even more, Creighton and Iowa State going here in about 35 minutes.
Yeah, the Las Vegas tournament, four of the games at the MGM Garden, where we saw the 21 pilots during USC weekend, and Mandalay Bay, where we did the pre- and post-game show for USC weekend. So Bruce Pearl, Auburn's playing at Mandalay Bay. Bruce Pearl is at the MGM Garden working on a Turner set. So TNT and True TV quadruple and quintuple headers, and they've been really good. Charlie, Iowa State and Creighton. I like Iowa State here. Creighton not as good. There's a little dip this year for the Creighton Blue Jays. Our friends up there in Omaha, Nebraska, the Jesuit school that supports their team so great. And part of their deal, they've been playing that drop-down defense for so long where they could really get out on the perimeter and defend shooters because they don't have that eraser, Kalkbrenner. They just don't have one. They got a big guy, but he's not close to what Kalkbrenner's been the past few seasons for them. So Iowa State stood off a really tough game yesterday, and I think Iowa State, they're off to a really nice start. Are they still undefeated at this point?
Yep.
Yeah,
5-0.
Yeah, and it's a good 5-0. They beat Mississippi State handily earlier this year, but they've got some really nice wins along the way. They look good.
Kansas and Syracuse at 2:30 now.
You said you watched that game yesterday, too, high-level game.
Yes, very much so.
Yes.
Very much so. Kansas is without Darren Peterson, who is a strong possibility to be the number one pick in the NBA draft next year. He's probably going to miss this entire tournament. He had 21 in his debut before that. They play Syracuse at 2:30 today. The Johnnies back on the court against Baylor. Baylor's off to a 4-0 start. That's at 3:30. Today. And the game you like the best, Jimmy, is Tennessee and Houston. That's a 5 o'clock game.
That's the best game. But the games I like Syracuse and these points against Kansas. I was very impressed how they went toe to toe. Houston has a way of intimidating you for obvious reasons, and it seems like the recruiting pool that Kelvin Sampson pulls from is like 15 years older than the rest of the country's recruiting pool. But anyway. Syracuse went right there with them, lost a tough one. Not playing a traditional zone. Boeheim's gone, but they're right there. And without Peterson, Kansas got away with it yesterday, shooting very good, shooting a really high percentage, for the game against Notre Dame. They shot 47%, shot 30% from three, but really a clean game for them. I think Peterson's going to catch up with them, not having him. So I'll take Syracuse plus a 5.5, a lot there. But the best game you talked about, Houston and Tennessee. Houston survived yesterday. Do they have a loss yet? They're ranked number 3 right now, Charlie. But Tennessee is undefeated, and their wins are
Houston, they're both 6-0.
Tennessee hasn't played a tough schedule, but it's about an average of 27 points a game. They got a top 10 prospect who was drilling threes left and right in the MSG, the MGM Garden, and man, they look like we know they could defend. We know they emphasize playing defense. It's always been, do they have the firepower? They had Connect a couple of years ago and lost a heartbreaker in the regional final. So now they go. Was this an Elite Eight game last year? I think it was, where they really held Tennessee scoreless last year. The Houston players were talking about it. I like Tennessee, maybe to play close, but man, Houston, how many? They got their attention. Great game early, 5 o'clock tip-off.
Also tonight, Auburn, who outlasted Oregon last night, is going to take on Michigan. Michigan is out of the gate 5-0.
Dusty May loves those twin 7-footers. He's got a couple more this year. And they're just all that size. I had them yesterday. I wasn't going to overreact to a close call against Wake Forest. Wake Forest is one of the most improved teams in all of college basketball, and been a covering machine catching big numbers. But Auburn looked okay yesterday. Still playing their style of play. Stephen Pearl instead of Bruce Pearl. I was wondering about that. If you didn't know, minus all the camera loved Bruce Pearl when he was coaching. Let's face it. And he was heavily involved in the coach. Not that energetic or animated, his son, doing it at his own pace, but similar style of play. I'm still trying to get a handle on Auburn. I think Michigan's a little bit further advanced. 4.5 might be a little much here, but if I had to do anything, I'd lay it with Michigan. They they're a little bit more dependable right now than Auburn.
Going to be able to watch plenty of college basketball today and tomorrow.
Man.
In Iowa tonight, huh? Yeah.
At Iowa City. At Iowa City, man. That's a good one. Will Wade lost his first one last night. First time a ranked team was beaten by an unranked team. Seton Hall shut the lights out against them and beat them in the first round of Maui. They'll come back this afternoon, and who are they playing, Charlie? I think they're 6.5 points.
NC State, Boise.
They're
playing Boise. It's early game.
6.5 point favorites. That is a 1:30 tip on ESPN.
We're brought to you by Coastal Capital Advisors, because when it comes to retirement, no two situations are alike. Wherever you are in life, you can start planning for retirement. No matter what your age, what your income level, Coastal Capital Advisors will make a plan that is perfect for you. Talk to Phil Fontenot and his staff. They'll set up a plan, that lifetime relationship. That's what they've done with our family. You're going to be very pleased with the result. A full-service financial advisor. Go to coastalcapitaladv.com to set up an appointment. coastalcapitaladv.com. Tell them you heard about it here on Live at Lunch. As for Phil Fontenot, they will help you out. coastalcapitaladv.com. Remember, FINRA SIPC. We'll take a break. Former Tiger Greg Bowser joins us when we return. Those Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny from Doe's Eat Place on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
And we're also brought to you by the Morris Insurance Group. I urge you to look again if your properties, your coastal properties, your hunting camps, your fishing camps, you had a hard time getting insurance on them, you need flood insurance, they can help you out there. All your big boy toys, your boats and trailers, your motorcycles, your RVs, your tractors, they can help you out with insurance on all of these items too. For commercial, auto, and homeowners insurance as well, give them a call at 201-0007. That's 225-201-0007. Or you can get a quote free online, morris-ig.com, morris-ig.com. You call 201-0007. That's for Buzzy Hydell at the Morris Insurance Group. Greg Bowser joins me right now, as he has been with us all season on Tuesdays. Greg, we're winding down, one game left. I'll talk to you about the game here in a second, but not for very long, because it wasn't much to talk about. But how do you feel? LSU should have a coach here before very much longer. How do you feel about how all of this is playing out?
I think it's playing out pretty well. Lane Kiffin's kind of made a mockery of it a little bit by teasing people. But
okay, well, what is he? What's he to do if he wants his job?
I would have preferred him say, "Hey, listen, I'm going to coach my team through the rest of the year. I'm going to be here. We're going to coach my team through the rest of the year. I'm not talking about this again."
Well, that's kind of what he's done.
But that's not what he said.
Well,
he always leaves the door open so he can kind of mess with it.
Yeah. Well, he said, "I'm not going to talk about it." Okay, which keeps him from having to lie about it.
Yeah. No.
There's no great way to do this with the way it falls. There's always going to be a school that's spurned. There's always going to be another school that is bigger than the one. There's always a job bigger than the one you got. And if LSU fans, they should know that. Okay, yeah. They lost the best coach they ever had to the NFL. So there's always another job out there that may turn somebody's head.
Oh, no, I think that's perfectly okay. I think there needs to be some parameters around it. I think Nick Saban was right when what he said about the need to get some dates in there where your coaches can't change teams, or you can't hire a coach, and you can fix the transfer portal. Those are easy things to fix. The transfer portal is a lot harder to fix than it is the coaching.
Well, it sounds wonderful,
yeah.
When Saban says that. But you're trying to tell 100 and however many public universities that they can't hire an employee except during a certain amount of time. There's a limit to what the NCAA can do.
Well, I think, Charlie, for many years I worked for a trade association, okay? Mm-hmm. And your members pay you to be a member. And in doing so, you sign an agreement that says, these are the rules I agree to abide by. That's one of them. Now, if you're not in that, if you don't want to abide by that rule, don't get in. Don't get in. Get out.
Well, and if they put a rule like that, listen, as it is just over the playoff, the Southeastern Conference is rattling sabers about, listen, we'll go have our own playoff if we don't get at least something of what we want. I think that's a pie in the sky. Now, what he did say that I think is possible, that I think could change the landscape a great deal is to change your spring football practice schedule. You could just say, hey, listen, you're not allowed to practice in April or March, April. You're not allowed to have spring practice in. What you are allowed to do is have OTAs in the summer, similar to the NFL team. So instead of 15 days of spring practice, you might have 6 to 9 in June and July. This would alleviate the pressure. Now, that's something that they can do. The pressure to have transfers immediately leave school for the spring semester would be alleviated. You wouldn't be in such a hurry to get out the door. Then you could move the transfer portal to later in the spring. It would align with the academic calendar. Kids would actually be able to go to school both semesters in the same place. I think that would alleviate some of the transfer portal pressure to get this done so doggone quick. Doesn't help you with the hiring of coaches, but at least it moves the transfer portal. And I think you move the signing day back where it was in February, and then you might have a fighting chance at keeping coaches to the end of the season without these distractions at that point.
Well, I think the problem for me is that what the NCAA has been trying to do all along is they're trying to regulate the players, and they're not regulating the coaches and the institutions themselves, because it's the institution that's the members of the NCAA. It's not the players. It's the institution. And so they need to get their members straight first. Then you can impose some things on the other guys, and they're not doing that. That's what frustrates me about the NCAA.
Yeah, I think it's a pie-in-the-sky thing that you can regulate who they can hire and when they can do it. I don't see any way that holds up ever. Even though they are members of the organization, I get what you're saying, but I just don't think that I can't see that ever working. I can't ever see universities ceding the power to hire and fire employees when they want to. Maybe I'm wrong, but I do think that I loved his idea. I loved his idea about the spring football.
Yeah, you
in the
you
OTAs.
can fire them when you want to. It's just that you stop the coach move. You limit them when they can move around. I think you're going to have to do that. They got to figure out how to do that, because you're going to get this will be, if LSU hires Lane Kiffin, this will be the second coach that they've hired away from a team that was getting ready to go to playoffs.
Or had a chance to go to the playoff. Yeah. And they may not be the only one. If Tulane gets themselves in position to get into the playoff, John Summerall might be in the exact same position. All right. Again, Verge Osbury for a long time. If this were to go sideways on him, and Lane Kiffin could change his mind, or we think he's got his mind made up. Some people don't. I disagree with that, but some people don't. A plan B, most people have agreed, is Eli Drinkwitz. What is your response to that?
I think he has a plan B.
You don't think it's him?
I think he has a plan B. I think he has a plan B and C.
Yeah. Well, you need to.
And that's the tough thing, is how do you hold plan B in place long enough for Kiffin to make his decision? That's the hard part. That's the hard part.
Well, I have when it comes to Eli Drinkwitz or John Summerall, I have the answer to that. And the answer to that is Jimmy Sexton, because he represents all three, okay? They don't have to – now, you get another coach that's not represented by Jimmy Sexton, well, that's a little bit harder. But if Eli Drinkwitz is wondering what Lane Kiffin is doing, all he's got to do is call their agent to get an idea. Same thing with John Summerall.
They got the firewall they put up. They can't.
Well, you can guide them in the right direction. I mean, he's beholden to all of these clients, not just to Lane Kiffin. But I think there's several coaches that are out there going, okay, what's Lane going to do? And not just for Summerall, who could maybe go to Auburn, or Drinkwitz, who can stay where he's at and make $9 million next year. But if the Ole Miss job opens, it's going to attract an enormous amount of attention.
Yeah. I would think that Summerall would want to go to Auburn.
I still think that's the chalk. Again, he and his wife are both grew up in Huntsville, and he has coached in the state of Alabama before, so that's home. And I still think the Auburn job's better than the Ole Miss job overall, although I don't know how much longer I'm going to think that. Yeah. It depends a great deal on who the next coach is at both of those places.
The other guy that I think would be in play, Charlie, is the coach at Georgia Tech.
Brent Key.
I think he would be in play.
Brent Key's a very good coach. He has gone out of his way to be pretty adamant that he's staying at Georgia Tech, but we've heard that before, and guys have left, so you can't always, can't always take them at that.
You can. I think he's one of the better younger coaches coming around. I think he's one.
He did something that very few people have been able to do, which is take an interim job and turn it into a permanent job. The number of interims that coach however many games and then move on to the next thing is infinitely bigger than the guys that do such a good job as the interim that they get to keep the job. The Dabo Sweeneys are pretty rare, and Brent Key. And Ed Ogeron did it here. There were some circumstances that helped with the AD and another coach.
And the thing about Georgia Tech, I went to the Georgia Tech Pitt game this weekend, and Georgia Tech was so much physically bigger than Pitt. But when he kicked it off, the speed difference was obvious. Pitt just ran away from him. It was just unbelievable.
You were at Georgia Tech Pitt?
I'm sorry?
I said you went to Georgia Tech Pitt?
I did. Went to Georgia Tech Pitt.
Got to be a story here. You didn't just buy a ticket at random. What were you doing at Georgia Tech Pitt?
I've got the pleasure of sitting on the executive committee of the Sugar Bowl.
Okay.
And so we went for me and another Sugar Bowl committee member.
Okay.
Went for a trip to.
You got a nice trip.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, that's good. I watched most of that game, and Pat Narduzzi did everything he could to let Georgia Tech back in that game.
Yeah, he did.
The 99-100-yard pick six ends up being the difference, but the fake punt. What are you doing? I mean, the number of plays that they ran with 20 seconds on the play clock, the number of passes that they threw up, multiple scores. It was almost like he wanted to keep the TV audience around. Let me make sure that Georgia Tech still got a chance.
Looking at those two teams, the size difference was unbelievable. Georgia Tech was huge, and Pitt was small. But then when he kicked it off, the speed difference was just as huge. I mean, Pitt they just couldn't keep up with him.
What do you think of the freshman quarterback at Pitt?
He was okay.
Yeah,
he's okay.
I think he's done some nice things. It'd be an interesting career to follow. Okay. Any takeaways from LSU and Western Kentucky?
Man, struggling. We got offensively. I was really surprised we were not able to do better offensively. Really surprised.
You were a little encouraged after what you saw against Arkansas.
I was. I thought
for the quarterback anyway.
Yeah, I thought what we were going to do is come up and show that we can run the ball and knock them off the ball.
Not so much.
Not so much.
No. They tried at least. Barry had 18 carries in this game, but they lost Braylon Moore and Ori Williams in this game. And right this second, that's probably their two best offensive linemen. Moore's had a reasonable year. He's been the best of a bad group. Williams has been a surprise. Over the last couple of weeks, he's really put some good tape out there. And when he went out, you could tell a difference.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, this week is going to be tough. I think this is the best defense that they've seen all year.
I agree.
Oklahoma is, I don't know, they've got them playing.
And they get up the field, man. They lead the nation not only in sacks but in tackles for loss as well. I can't think of very few, maybe Ohio State. I can't think of many other teams that's a worse matchup for LSU this week if Williams and Moore are going to miss again.
Yeah, I don't watch very much tape anymore like I used to, but I went back and looked at some Oklahoma stuff and.
No, they can play defense, and Brent Venables has always been a very, very good defensive coach. It's going to be a tough order for LSU, but
it will be. Another thing is, does Nussmeier come back and play? Have they decided yet?
They haven't said anything. I'd be surprised if he played. I think they're doing that to keep up appearances. I don't think that Nuss is going to play anymore. Now, what they do if something were to happen to Van Buren is interesting. They could go to the walk-on, or they could play a little Jawan Johnson in there. I don't know what happens if that does, but I would be surprised if Nussmeier played.
Maybe he'll be back for the bowl game. I
would be surprised if he played in the bowl game. I think
he's done.
I do, and I thought that. Last week as well. I was glad he got to go out. I was glad the ovation was there for him for Senior Day to go out and have that moment. Kid did what he could. Nobody wanted this to end the way that
he played hard and gave it all, and that's all you can ever ask of him.
Yeah. All right. Have a happy Thanksgiving, man.
Yeah.
Jimmy asked everybody what they're cooking, so I guess I'd ask you what you're cooking.
Well, I'm doing a turkey roll.
Turkey roll?
Yeah, I'm doing I'm bringing half of St. Mary Parish is coming up.
Okay, well, I know you host a big party.
That's it. Yeah,
I live not that far from you. I'm in Wanda over for dessert.
Well, come on over
on Thursday afternoon. We'll watch a little pro football.
That's right.
Watch the Chiefs and the Cowboys.
Pecan pie. I'm making it myself. I'll make it Wednesday night.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll take our final time out. Come back and wrap things up here at Doe's Eat Place on Government Street in Mid-City. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Doe's Eat Place on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
And return here at Doe's Eat Place. A lot of college basketball this afternoon, a little college football tonight. The MAC, this is the last of 43 days in a row with football. No football tomorrow night.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, but
okay.
Plenty starting on Thursday and Friday. MAC action tonight. Some pretty bad teams. If you're absolutely dying for some football, UMass.
Yeah, there's always Charlie. Guess what? The collective record between the MAC is always the same, 500.
It is.
Got good teams and bad teams. It's a lower level of competition. I mean, nothing new there. But there's nobody lower than the 0-11 Minutemen of UMass.
They will finish the worst season in D1 this year tonight.
And they're power rated. Not only power rated 136 by most handicap, but one of the lowest power ratings in like 20, 25 years.
Like Sam Houston was like kind of close to them a couple of weeks ago, but they actually won a game.
Won 2 games in a row.
That's right. They beat Oregon State.
And won the first quarter last week against Middle Tennessee State.
Now, how would you know that?
Had a 10-0 lead before they fell apart, like 28-10 or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, would you know that? Okay.
Because this is my die-hard pick on the Bet Rivers podcast. 31-17 was the final in Murfreesboro by the 2-10 Blue Raiders.
Barn burner.
2-9 for 2-9.
That's pretty bad. The other one's Western and Eastern Michigan.
Oh, the directional Michigan battle, huh?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna opt for the college basketball tonight.
That's no, we're gonna lay the points in Western there, Charlie.
Lay the points.
Lay the points in both of them. Chalk it up.
Okay.
Bowling Green and Western Michigan.
Road favorites.
Yeah.
Road favorites in the MAC.
Do a little there you go. Hook them up, parlay them with Iowa State. You know the whole bit. So.
Got it.
Willie Wade going to get back on a winning track today?
Probably.
I've
heard they're pretty good. I hadn't a chance to see them.
They're pretty good. They got a ways to go. They got just kind of, as do a lot of these teams, there's a lot of individual players, not a whole lot of congruency. And the one team is the team that's always ahead this time of year, Gonzaga.
Thanks to the folks here at Doe's for being our hosts.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, one more show.
Rio Cantina in Prairieville on Airline Highway. Come on by and see us.
From all of us here at Doe's, Jordan back in the studio. I'm Charles Hanniger saying thank you and good afternoon. Stay tuned for Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.